PDF documents are an especially juicy place for a forensics investigator. A lot of things happen through downloading, and we can show intent over a period of time when people do searches on the internet, and if the search has all been wiped out, the downloads from those documents is local to the machine, and those downloads happen to be PDFs in a lot of cases. If you actually create a document and turn it into a PDF, all the rich metadata that was, say, in the Word document is also populated up inside of that PDF. And you can dig down into that with a hex editor and find out where this document came from, who was the creator of the document, and what tool they actually used. And that's if you're using something like a PDF writer. Remember, more and more people today are actually doing print to PDF instead of print to paper because printers they're not gone, but they're fading away, and the use of paper is diminishing. So PDFs is kind of supporting that diminished paper into the PDFs. You can find out the name of the author, the date the file was created, and the application that used it. Those are key pieces of information. The data of the document itself would be good, but also where it came from might be even better. You can use a couple of the Perl scripts that are out there that will help you extract this metadata so that you don't have to read it individually. I like these two Perl scripts, the PDF metadata and the PDF dump.pl. That means that you're going to have on your investigation workstation, you're going to have a Perl installed on that local workstation or the Perl interpreter and be able to run that. Word documents. Depending on how somebody has learned how to use Word, they may embed other documents inside of that Word document, and that gives us a richer interface. That gives us richer data that we can use as a forensics investigator. So they'll use OLE, which is object linking and embedding, to actually put files inside. You see this all the time with PowerPoint when somebody inserts an Excel spreadsheet inside of their PowerPoint. They actually do object linking and embedding. Sometimes they make that reach out to another location across a share, and so that it repopulates and updates the data when they run this PowerPoint. Sometimes they embed it completely along with the document, and so there's no other resource to get to. When you're looking at Word, you want to go into the metadata and you want to look at the past revisions list. And there is, deep down inside of that metadata, there's the list of the last 10 authors of that particular file. So if you suspect some sort of intellectual property theft, you can take this Word doc and you can dig down into it and say, okay, well, maybe they got that from somewhere else. Maybe they had another author on it, and it's been passed around from word user to word user to word user. We can actually trace back to the original author of the document, and that helps us with the intellectual property cases or what's called e-discovery in a lot of cases. Now, there are some more Perl scripts that you can look up that will give you the metadata and also the object linking and embedded data out of these Word docs so that you don't have to dig down in there and actually do the hard work of exposing all that metadata in a reader. If you see the Perl script works, then what you need to do is you need to go back into that document and actually expose it in a particular reader. I use UltraEdit, and it'll give you that rich metadata that you can then dig down into. If UltraEdit doesn't work for that particular document, something like WinHex definitely will. It'll show you the ASCII it'll show you the ASCII text of all the different information in there along with the hex. You just look at the ASCII interpretation of it. It will show you that metadata. Remember, you have to do two different. You have to corroborate your evidence. The Perl script says one thing, but you actually have to pull up the file and capture that image for the court to prove that it is actually a piece of data that that indicates this particular activity. Let's talk graphics files just for a second here. We've got a lot of graphic file information to talk about in the steganography section, so I'll leave that here. We can just get one little toe dipped in. Remember, in those pictures that you take, unless you turn it off, there is something called EXIN data inside of there that will tell you time, date, type of camera, the GPS coordinates of that particular activity if that's hooked up to something that has the GPS knowledge. And this can put somebody in a particular place at a particular time. That's if you have the graphic file. Now the nice thing is, we're going to talk about thumbs, and this is where all those graphic files are cataloged so that you can go back to them. That's it for graphics files. We're going to switch gears next and talk about thumbs.